Let the vengeance begin!
Howdy, howdy, Sea Devil here, and welcome to a ladder battle between the Dowie and the Tomb Kings. Now, this battle has already been going on for 5 minutes because this map, you start over there, they start over there, we had to figure out where we're going to be, and so my army's already a little bit disheveled, but I've never used this army in a ladder battle because I've never had a chance to fight the Tomb Kings, and I don't play a lot of ladder, so I'll go over my build. Basically, I have my trusty Longbeards in the front line, 4 with 1 chevron, and we also have the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass in here for their fire damage, and in my main line I also have a Rune Lord just on foot, and for my Rune Lord I've got the Master Rune of Wrath and Rune and the Master Rune of Grungni, which is 20% missile resistance in case he has the Blessed Legions or Shapti Greatbows, this kind of thing. And I also have a Runesmith. So with my Runesmith I have the Hammer of Carrick Draws for scorpions, these types of things, big monsters, Master Rune, the Rune of Wrath and Rune, and the Rune of Oath and Steel for the extra armor, because they don't have a ton of armor piercing in their front line. Now, for my backline range support, I actually have 6 units. I have 2 Bugman's Rangers, which are on the outside. These are really meant to deal with any of their range support or chariots or anything like this. I have 2 normal Rangers, a little bit on the inside, then I have 2 Rangers with great weapons to really deal with Tomb Scorpions and their big constructs. On the outside, I have 3 Slayers, 2 Chevrons for normal Slayers on my very outsides, and the Dragonback Slayers. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to get a little close. I'm going to start taking a beating with them. But for his army, he has 1 Skeleton Warrior, and the rest of his line is simply Skeleton Spearmen. Wanted to go super cheap, I guess. He has a Lich Priest with the Curse of Sar, minus 60 armor, Banishment, Net of Amontok, Shem's Burning Gaze, and Exorcism, which is only for undead. Must have taken that by mistake. And he has High Queen Khalida. And you don't see her very often, I don't think. And she has Tomb Strike, plus 26 melee attack, which is really good. Venom Wave, which is an explosion. My Will Be Done, plus 5 melee attack, plus 5 melee defense, 30 meters around her, which is an awesome ability. Blessing of Asaf, which is for this massive range contingent, plus 15 missiles, plus 15% missile damage, plus 15 reload skill, plus 15% armor piercing missile damage. Awesome. And she has her curse, which causes damage to combatants. Now for the back line, he has Shapti with Greatbows, 2 of them, and the Regiment of Renown, the Chosen of the Gods, and he also has 2 Bone Giants for his artillery. So I have to come to him. So we'll get this thing on the go. Basically, you know, it's funny, when you're under artillery fire and the game's gone for a long time, it's easy to start making mistakes. And I wanted to get my army up because I knew my front line is just going to eat this front line up. But, you know, I didn't want to get these Slayers beat up, so the Slayers I'm pulling back. And I'm just saying, okay, I'm decoupling my groups, and I'm going to put my group there. I go, these guys are all going to go up, and I'm going to slowly, you know, pick this Longbeard's going to go after this guy is going to go after this guy. But meanwhile, I've got all my units clumped up here right in the front, and they're taking a beating. Yes, I have the missile resistance, but even worse, you're going to see as I approach, all my Rangers, these guys he can't see any of these guys. See, they're all hidden, but they're all so close he's going to get free shots. Had I just brought them up about that far back, and then brought my Slayers up to, like, I want to bring my Slayers up while I'm engaged, because they're pretty quick, and I just don't want them to get beat up on the way in. These guys have armor and shields, and it's not going to be a problem, but you can see I'm getting shots here where these guys are going to start to take some damage, which is completely unnecessary. Unfortunately, it is what it is. You know, I've taken damage on my Bugman's Rangers. They're going to heal through it, but you know, my little Dowie legs couldn't quite pump fast enough. So, you know, I was just trying, okay, I want to get to the line, just get engaged, and then I can worry about this back line afterwards. So I already said, okay, I want you guys to go after this side, after the Chosen of the Gods, and I'll get you guys to go after this Ushapti Greatbow. Another mistake. Really, basically, I should have had my whole line go after really one unit just to focus fire down, but of course I didn't. I want to break through this line quickly, so I've hit them with the Master Rune of Wrath and Rune and the Rune of Wrath and Rune to start damaging them as I get to the line, and I'm going to get my Warriors of Dragonfire Pass are going to get netted, and unfortunately, you know, it is what it is. So now I'm finally engaging the line. I'm going to bring my Slayers up. I want to bring these two to this side because I want to punch a hole here, and I bring this Slayer all the way over and to this side to try and punch a hole here so I can get in and around the outsides, because he's got this cut off here pretty well, and the battle is starting in earnest. So I know I can bring my Runesmith and my Rune Lord into this fight, no problem. They're not going to get hurt. They're not even going to get damaged, I don't think. Well, maybe a tiny little bit by the skeleton experiment. So I'll bring them in and keep them fighting. I've still got my units a little clumped up, but now they're starting to shoot. I at least have them focus on this Ushapti with Great Bow, and here comes High Queen Khalida into that front line, and she is she's gonna beat the tar out of my Rune Lord and a few Dowie, and she's also brought in her Lich Priest. Oh, my poor Runesmith. Good job, buddy. Get up. So as soon as Khalida gets in here, and unfortunately, you know, it's like a shiny thing. I changed targets, and I'm gonna send my Rangers with great weapons. I'm going to get them to shoot a High Queen Khalida, which I don't need to do. But I am going to send my Dragonback Slayers after Khalida, because that's a very good target. Now, he's still beating me up with his Ushapti, his Bone Giants. He's going to beat my whole back line up. You can see the damage he's doing. And, you know, he's got these guys down to 38 models, 22 models. He's routed these guys. You know, he's definitely focusing me down. But now that I've got my Slayers in, I'm going to be able to start fighting that Lich Priest, High Queen Khalida. Where is she? And I'm starting to get into these Ushapti with Great Bow and starting to do some damage over on this side. So, and I'm also going to start, no, I haven't done it yet. I'm going to realize, like, what am I doing? Taking different targets, and I'm just going to take all of my backline and focus fire on one thing. So my Rune Lord is starting to gotten out of school here. Khalida sees that, and she's going to come and just start beating on him. My Dragonback Slayers are following, so they are not fast enough to slow her down so they can catch her, but they'll do a little bit of damage. But Khalida is definitely starting to beat the tar out of my Runesmith. Now this, I didn't see this right away. Like, yeah, now I'm going to try and focus my units. I'm like focusing on my backline. I'm not really watching the front, because I want to start focusing on something and really nailing it, and then I'm going to see my Rune Lord starting to take a beating. And, you know, I've got my Slayers here fighting the Ushapti, which is a fine target, but it's not the best. And now, I still haven't focused my target. He does his summoned Ushapti back here right on top of Slayers. Is bad for him. I'm just going to push them back and take out those Ushapti, and I'm going to start focusing on one unit at a time. But now I've seen my Rune Lord is getting the tar beat out of him, so I just want to get him out of there and get all my units. There we go. We'll get all my units focused on one Ushapti with Great Bow. Just get that fire in and take it down. Now he's bringing the Bone Giants out of ammo into the front line, and now this part of the line is totally collapsed, so now I can bring them in. His line hasn't been able to hold up, and I can get these guys to come in with the Bone Giant and start fighting Khalida. And I think I'll switch, as soon as I get these Ushapti with Great Bow down, I'm going to switch up to this Bone Giant because it's a big target. But now you can see it's really time to just collapse. Everything's starting to crumble because of we're getting some decent focus fire in here. Now I've got everything focused on the Bone Giant. That's going to collapse very, very quickly. And we're just going to go right after Khalida. She collapses, and it's just one of those things. Like, undead armies, once they start to go, they go extremely fast. And, you know, that front line really has showed their durability. It's just cleaning up these last two Bone Giants. There really isn't too much left. And he did put a number on me. It definitely got a lot of kills into my back line. So if we go look at the end plates on that, you know, I played poorly in terms of taking that engagement. You know, go back to, I really should have kept my range back 40 or 50 meters so an overshot wouldn't hit them. And then I could have actually done better, and then should have focused fired right away. He had nothing in my backline, nothing to even threaten my backline, which is, you know, one of those things that's hard to see when you're in the middle of the battle, because I built this army expecting Tomb Scorpions, because that is the one unit from the Tomb Kings, well, a couple of units from the Tomb Kings that really worry me as a Dowie because they can go anywhere and they're armor piercing and they're anti-infantry and they're really slippery and they're hard to hit. So that's sort of what this army was built to face. And also the Ushabti with Great Bow, which is why I brought the Rune Lord's ability. But you can see this Bone Giant's got a lot of kill. 105 and 92, they've definitely paid for themselves. They both chevroned up ones. Ushabti got 35, 42, and his Chosen of the Gods 36. But this is where the Tomb Kings, and this is one of the things I talked about when the Tomb Kings were released, where they just can't stand with the Dowie, is they just don't have infantry. So, good on him. He was thinking, well, what I'm going to do is hold up my infantry, trying to get to my Ushabti summon and do my best with my last back line. And he did that. Like, he got rid of my Warriors of Dragonfire Pass. I got 0 kills. And he got rid of this Ranger pretty quick. They got 0 kills, so he did a good job with that. Held for as long as he could. Probably why he took the Spearman. They probably have better melee defense. And, just tried to last for as long as possible. When you go over and look at the front line, of course, Rune Lord on foot, 22. I don't know, I thought about this build bringing him on his Anvil of Doom, because that would mitigate some of the magic damage by the Bone Giant, but I don't think it was a really big deal. And, of course, Runesmith is always solid. Longbeards, I love them. My favorite unit of the game, 69, 84, 87, 104. They held up beautifully in that front line. Warriors of Dragonfire Fast got beat up, but they got focused. And then Slayers are Slayers, 72, 90, and 8. And they really finished things off. And, my backline, I could have used them so much better. Had I focused everything on one target, these Rangers are the great weapons. You saw when they just unload. When they unload, they do tons of damage, and they're really, really devastating. But I didn't focus hard enough on the targets. I kind of split my focus and was looking at my Rune Lord and, try not to get him killed and, a little bit of miss micro in that front and some poor decision making in terms of taking the engagement. But still, that's why I love the Dowie. They're very forgiving. Longbeards are tough. Slayers are unbreakable. Rangers are amazing. Your Rune Lord and Runesmiths are really, really good. And in this matchup, I really think the Dowie have a massive advantage. So thanks to Hego for taking that fight. I did pick the Dowie first, and he picked into me with the Tomb Kings, which is great. I'm happy. I think this is my first ever ladder game with the Tomb Kings. So thank you very much. And love to hear from you guys. Comments on the battle. Have you faced the Tomb Kings with the Dowie? What did you think of the build? Where could it be improved? Or what would you like to see in this type of fight? And how about that map? That is so... I literally cut out 5 minutes of battle. Just sorting out our armies so we could both get on the top shelf and they could both face each other. And boy, what a map. That should probably be taken out of the rotation, I think. I like the idea of having a map like that, but that one is just... It's a little bit rough there, lads. So, anyways, with that said, I hope to hear from you, and I will see you soon.